ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Teachers, law enforcement, and food workers are on deck to get the vaccine, and we now have a better idea of when this next group will be up. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. ABC 10 News reporter Leah Pizzetti shows us how schools are already planning to get their teachers vaccinated.
Right now, the focus is on making sure people 65 and older get vaccinated, and it's all dependent on how many doses we get. But if all goes according to plan, teachers, law enforcement, and food workers could be up in the next few weeks.
Teachers next, teachers next. I live downtown and I've been seeing the line of cars of people getting vaccinated.
Michael Godaboo teaches in Solana Beach and is ecstatic to hear he could get a vaccine in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
We all want the same thing. We all want to return to normal.
With teachers next up for vaccinations, leaders are planning logistics, right now leaning toward putting each district in charge of getting their highest priority staff vaccinated first at sites just for them.
We are working to prepare for that. We're working to build out and have ready to go dedicated vaccination sites.
Fifth grade teacher Casey Higginbottom says he knows this will not be an overnight fix.
And it takes 6 to 8 weeks for you to be cleared to go back in, really, to be safe. That's going to push us really close to the end of the school year.
San Diego Unified School District's Richard Barrera says he hopes to bring some students back on campus after spring break and is optimistic summer and fall education will be possible in person. But that scheduling is dependent on if teachers can start to get vaccinated in the next few weeks, and if cases decline, and if there are doses.
Moving into that phase is predicated on supply, and we hope to see that increase.
Chair Fletcher warning that once vaccines open to the next tier, there will be another rush, so they're making sure the priority stays on 65 and older while there is still a demand in that age group.
Now, understanding the minute we do that, there will be a severe shortage of appointments because, again, you're injecting a very large number of folks into a system that has limited supply.
So in the meantime, educators are planning, ready to take the next steps. Leah Pizzetti, ABC 10 News.
The San Diego Education Association released a statement in response to the planned timeline, saying that it's thrilled and it looks forward to working with the county to get both doses to educators.
An impending change could also make it easier for people to get their vaccine appointments. Today, President Biden announced that states will get more advance notice about new shipments of the vaccine. Governor Gavin Newsom says that will allow the state to start giving counties 3 weeks notice on how many doses will arrive. And because counties will have that early notice, they may be able to open more appointments in advance. San Diegans have been telling us they have been frustrated trying to make those appointments.
I feel myself getting anxious, like going onto that website 3-4 times a day. Are they going to release them? The only days that are calendared for any available appointments are today and tomorrow.
We asked the county if the additional notice will affect their appointment process. They told us they don't know the specifics yet.
The county reported 1,100 more cases of COVID today. We're now just shy of 250,000 since the pandemic began. Despite the slightly higher number of cases, our 14-day rolling average still managed to drop slightly. And that's because daily percentages are down from 2 weeks ago. Sadly, the county is still reporting a high number of deaths. 51 more people have died from the virus.
We have shared many stories of how the pandemic has affected our children's mental health, but pediatricians across the nation are also seeing alarming trends in their patients' physical health. Our ABC 10 News reporter Rena Nakano spoke to a doctor who says the negative effects, they go hand in hand.
You may have heard of the term COVID bump, a sudden weight gain caused by the pandemic. Well, pediatricians say it's real, and some of its effects may not be so easily remediated.
How are you doing with, both home and school?
This is the first question Dr. Janet Crow asks her patients, kids who come in for their annual checkups at UCSD Health. A simple but important question considering the life-changing events caused by COVID-19.
They're dealing with a lot of that older people in your life relationships and not enough with that horizontal relationship.
No school, no activities, no friends. It's causing alarming trends from the youngest children.
All of a sudden they're having more acting out.
To teens.
I'm really seeing more depression, no question.
Dr. Crow says just as she sees a decline in mental health, their physical health is also suffering.
We are seeing clear jumps in the growth chart from some of those kids who were in normal ranges into the obese range.
Busy parents rely on high-fat processed fast foods, and computer-bound kids snack instead of eating healthy meals. It's a behavior Dr. Crow says might not go away even after the lockdown.
If kids go into stress times and they have traumatic flashbacks about whatever happened during this year, then some of those things that comforted them become their go-tos. And one of those, unfortunately, is eating.
Obesity then causes anxiety and depression. The cycle continues. That's why she and her colleagues at the American Academy of Pediatrics are asking the governor to ditch the color-coded tier system and give parents the choice to send their kids back to school.
Looking at best practices, not at the tier system. You can find matched districts that have similar socioeconomic distributions and find out those that have done it well. And let's join with them.
Rena Nakano, ABC 10 News.
San Diego police are mourning the loss of one of their own. Today, a funeral service was held for fallen officer David Sisto before he was laid to rest in Sorrento Valley. He became short of breath while responding to a call last Tuesday in Carmel Mountain. He was later pronounced dead at the hospital. It's not clear yet what caused his death, but for now, it's believed to be non-COVID related. Sisto served as a Marine for 8 years and leaves behind a wife and 2 children.
Missing Chula Vista mother will be spending this President's Day Monday searching for her. Relatives of Maya Miliete said that they took a trip with her to Glamis Sand Dunes in Imperial County over the New Year's weekend. That was just days before she went missing on January 7th. They say that Maya recently bought her own dirt bike and started riding. The family hopes by passing out flyers along the area known as Sand Highway that can create new leads.
Turning now to our weather. A little bit of rain may be heading in, and ABC 10 News meteorologist Angelica Campos is tracking it, trying to squeeze out a real number with this rain coming in. Angelica.
That's right, Kim. We haven't had any rain since the end of January, so this is our first chance, and it's going to bring some light rain. Already tonight, we're starting to see a little bit of green, but not much on our radar. Even on Doppler Live, looks pretty dry at this hour. But as we zoom out and switch it over to our satellite and radar, you can actually see the clouds streaming and moving into the region. That chance is going to continue into tomorrow, and it will become much better for the morning and early afternoon hours when we'll see potentially up to 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of rainfall. There's going to be another storm this weekend. We'll break it all down in our 7-day forecast. I'll show you what to expect and the totals on how it all will play out for Valentine's weekend.
Angelica, thank you. Tomorrow, former President Trump's lawyers will begin their defense in his second impeachment trial. ABC's Faith Abube shows the final evidence House managers presented in their attempt to tie Trump's words with the actions of those who attacked the Capitol.
House impeachment managers concluding their argument against former President Donald Trump, saying his historic second impeachment trial is as much about the deadly January 6th insurrection.
He struck a match, and he aimed it straight at this building, at us,
as it is about the nation's future.
And think about it. Every foreign adversary considering attacking this building got to watch a dress rehearsal, and they saw that this Capitol could be overtaken.
Democrats taking senators who were seated as jurors through the January 6th Capitol Hill riot, frame by frame, using the perspective of Trump's own supporters to show how the mob repeatedly echoed the former president's words.
All of you people really came up with, we will stop the steal.
Yeah!
Stop the steal! Stop the steal!
And then acted on his orders.
We are listening to Trump, your boss.
The impeachment managers arguing that Trump started encouraging the mob long before the insurrection, and even after the deadly siege has shown no remorse.
People thought that what I said was totally appropriate.
You know, I'm not afraid of Donald Trump running again in 4 years. I'm afraid he's going to run again and lose, because he can do this again.
After 3 days of graphic and emotional videos from inside the riot, some Republicans saying they were moved by the Democrats' case.
They've done very well. I think that's generally conceded.
The evidence that has been presented thus far is pretty damning.
But the majority still a long way from voting with Democrats to convict Trump. The former president's defense lawyer saying the House manager's case lacked context.
Oh, I wouldn't prejudge anything, but he should not be convicted, I'll tell you that.
Trump's defense team will begin their opening arguments tomorrow. They've already indicated it'll be short because, quote, the trial never should have happened. On Capitol Hill, Faith Abube, ABC News.
And we will have continued live coverage of the impeachment trial on our streaming apps. You can watch by downloading the 10 News app.